You've made mistakes, you've hurt people, you've failed yourself, and now a voice inside you won't stop whispering, "You don't deserve peace." But what if Buddha's ancient wisdom could silence that voice forever? Stay with me. 2,000 years ago, a monk approached Buddha with tears streaming down his face. He had committed terrible acts before finding the path. "Master," he cried, "how can I forgive myself? The guilt is destroying me." Buddha smiled gently and picked up 2 stones. What happened next changed everything the monk understood about forgiveness. Buddha held up the first stone. "This represents your past," he said. Then he threw it into the river with tremendous force. The stone sank immediately, disappearing into the depths. "Tell me," Buddha asked, "can you reach into that water and bring back that stone right now?" The monk shook his head. "No, Master, it's gone." "Exactly," Buddha replied. "Your past is like that stone. Once it sinks into yesterday, you cannot retrieve it. You cannot change it. You cannot undo it. So why do you keep diving into those dark waters, searching for something that no longer exists?" The monk stood silent, tears still flowing. Buddha then held up the second stone. "This one represents your future." But instead of throwing it, he placed it gently in the monk's palm. "This stone is still in your hands. What you do with it is your choice." Buddha taught that self-forgiveness isn't about forgetting what you did. It's about understanding 3 profound truths. First, suffering is inevitable, but clinging to suffering is a choice. When you refuse to forgive yourself, you're choosing to carry yesterday's burden into today's moment. You're poisoning your present with past poison. Second, you were a different person then. Buddha said, "No one steps into the same river twice, for it's not the same river and they're not the same person." The you who made that mistake existed in different circumstances, with different awareness, different pain. That person no longer exists. Why punish who you are now for who you were then? Third, guilt serves its purpose, then becomes a prison. Guilt is meant to be a teacher, not a life sentence. It whispers, "You've learned something important. Now honor that lesson by being better." When guilt transforms into shame that defines you, it stops serving growth and starts serving self-destruction. Here's what Buddha would tell you today. Stop waiting for permission to forgive yourself. You keep thinking, maybe if I suffer long enough, I'll earn forgiveness. But forgiveness isn't earned through suffering. It's granted through wisdom and compassion toward yourself. Acknowledge what happened without the story. Say, "I did that. I caused harm." Stop there. Don't add, "I'm a terrible person." Don't add, "I'll never be worthy." Those are stories, not truth. Understand that holding on to guilt doesn't help those you hurt. If you genuinely harm someone, staying broken doesn't unbreak them. Your healing doesn't diminish their pain. But your continued suffering adds more suffering to the world. Buddha asks, "How does that honor anyone?" The monk looked at the stone in his hand and asked, "Master, what should I do with this?" Buddha replied, "Build something beautiful with it. Every moment you've been punishing yourself for yesterday is a moment stolen from creating tomorrow. The greatest apology you can make to yourself and others is to become the person you wish you had been." The monk finally understood. Forgiveness wasn't about pretending the past didn't happen. It was about refusing to let the past be the only thing that happens. So here's your path forward. Sit quietly and say to yourself, "I forgive you for not knowing what you didn't know before you learned it." Repeat this until you feel the weight shift. Write down one lesson you learned from your mistake, just one. That lesson is the gift. Honor it by living differently. Every time the guilt returns, ask yourself Buddha's question: is holding on to this thought creating peace or creating suffering? If it's creating suffering, release it like that stone into the river. Buddha's final words to the monk were simple but profound. You are not your mistakes. You are what you do next. Your past doesn't define you. Your response to your past defines you. And right now, in this moment, you have the power to choose compassion over punishment, wisdom over shame, growth over guilt. The stone is in your hand. Build something beautiful. Buddha's final words to the monk were simple but profound. You are not your mistakes. You are what you do next. Your past doesn't define you. Your response to your past defines you. And right now, in this moment, you have the power to choose compassion over punishment, wisdom over shame, growth over guilt. The stone is in your hand. Build something beautiful.